Welcome to Premier League Gameweek 9 Recapped. Let's get into it. Bournemouth played Leicester and defeated them 2-1 to go 5 games unbeaten under their caretaker manager Gary O'Neill. Leicester City, who off the back of a 4-0 win against Nottingham Forest, would have been hoping to replicate their performance from last time out against Bournemouth, and at one point it seemed like they were about to do just that when Patson Daka scored in the 10th minute of the game to send the Foxes in front early on. Leicester held on to this one goal lead for the large majority of the game, but their inability to add on to this lead cost them in the end, as Bournemouth scored 2 quick-fire goals in 3 minutes to stun Leicester and take the lead, with one of these goals coming from Philip Billing in the 68th minute and the other from Ryan Christie in the 71st minute. This was a good showing from Bournemouth, which begs the question of whether they should hire a new manager after sacking Scott Parker a couple of months ago, or let their current caretaker manager Gary O'Neill become their permanent manager. After all, he's managed to get 9 points from a possible 15, which is very good for a side that most people expected to be relegation candidates going into the season, and especially after they had suffered a 9-0 batter into the hands of Liverpool. Chelsea faced Wolves and beat them 3-0. Chelsea had a few good chances in the first half, but ended up squandering a lot of these, and ended up taking over 45 minutes for the first goal in this match, with Kai Havertz scoring on a stroke of half time to put Chelsea in front. Christian Pulisic has struggled to get consistent minutes for Chelsea this season, doubled the size lead in the 54th minute to get his second goal contribution in the past 2 Premier League matches he's played, with him also getting an assist against Crystal Palace last week despite being on the field for 6 minutes, which could persuade new Chelsea boss Graham Potter into giving him more minutes. The third goal in this match came right at the end, with Chelsea Academy product Armando Broja scoring his first senior goal for Chelsea after getting some experience in the Premier League last season at Southampton and signing a new long-term contract in the summer. This match was Kepa's second Premier League appearance this season, with Potter seemingly preferring him to Edouard Mendy, who hasn't been doing too great as of late. Kepa ended up keeping a clean sheet, although he wasn't challenged too much, with Wolves only getting 2 shots on target and being pretty poor attacking-wise so far this season, even with the addition of ex-Chelsea forward Diego Costa, who actually ended up receiving a standing ovation by the Chelsea supporters at Stamford Bridge on his way off the pitch after being substituted in the 56th minute following a poor attacking display. Man City came up against Southampton and beat them 4-0. It was Cancelo who opened the scoring in this match, with the left back going on a brilliant solo run and ended this run with a great finish to make the scoreline 1-0. Phil Foden, who has been in great form recently, got Man City's second when he chipped the ball over the keeper, and Riyad Mahrez got the third when he volleyed the ball into the back of the net soon into the second half. Then later on, Erling Haaland scored once again to get his 15th Premier League goal in 9 matches and his 20th across all competitions in 13 matches. This guy has to be a robot, man, and that's pretty much been confirmed, as there must have been an error in the system as he posted this gif of a robot on Twitter. But hey, this is old news. I think a lot of people knew this guy was a machine a long time ago.
Tonight you became the youngest player in UEFA Champions League history to score a first half hat-trick. How are you feeling right now?
Despite there being another 29 games left to play this season, Haaland is just 8 goals away from equaling the golden boot tally from last season and recently scored 1% of all of Man City's goals in the Premier League and Champions League. Newcastle played Brentford and demolished them 5-1. This match took place 1 year after Newcastle got taken over, and what better way to show the progress they've made in that 1 year time span than a 5-1 win. It was Bruno Guimaraes who opened the score in this match when he headed the ball into the back of the net in the 21st minute, and this was followed up shortly after by a Jacob Murphy goal to put Newcastle 2-0 up at half time. 9 minutes into the second half, Ivan Toney put away a penalty to reduce the deficit and briefly give Brentford hope that a comeback was possible in this match. But his hope didn't last long, as just 2 minutes after, Bruno Guimaraes got his second goal of the match with a fantastic shot from distance. Almiron then had got Newcastle's 4th in the 82nd minute, and to make matters worse for Brentford, Pinnock scored an own goal right at the end to make the scoreline 5-1. Brighton were up against Spurs and lost 1-0. Harry Kane was the man to get Tottenham's goal this match, getting his 8th goal of the season and continuing a scoring streak, with him netting in 4 consecutive Premier League matches, equaling his longest ever scoring streak in the league. If you include some of the matches from last season, he's now scored 12 goals in his last 12 Premier League appearances, which are pretty mad numbers, but it seems like nobody's even acknowledging this because Man City signed the flipping Terminator who's scoring goals for fun in this league. Now, despite the loss, Brighton still played pretty well in this match, which was their second game under their new manager Roberto De Zerbi, who hasn't had the easiest opponents in his first 2 matches in charge of Brighton, with them playing Liverpool last week and drawing 3-3 with them. There was uncertainty around Brighton's future when Chelsea took Graham Potter with them, but as of right now, things seem promising for them. Crystal Palace faced Leeds and defeated them 2-1. Leeds took the lead first, so Pascal Sturridge got on the rebound to put the visitors in front early on. Palace didn't let Leeds hold on to the lead for long though, as 14 minutes later, Edouard scored from a well-worked set piece and levelled the game. The scoreline remained at 1-1 for the large majority of the game, and it wasn't until the 74th minute when Eze scored his first goal of the season to win the game for Crystal Palace and get them level on points with Leeds United in the league table. West Ham came up against Fulham and beat them 3-1. Fulham took an early lead in this match, with Andreas Pereira scored a great goal from a tight angle 5 minutes into the game to send Fulham in front, although less than half an hour later, this goal he scored was cancelled out when he fouled Dawson inside the box, which led to West Ham being awarded a penalty that Jared Bowen put away, leaving the scoreline at 1-1 going into half time. Then in the 62nd minute, Scamacca scored to put West Ham 2-1 up, with him now scoring each of his last 2 Premier League appearances. Later on, Antonio sealed the win for West Ham in the 90th minute when he capitalised on Fulham's mistakes at the back, securing West Ham's second win in a row in the Premier League, which he'll be pretty happy with after their poor start to the season. Arsenal played Liverpool and beat them 3-2, leaving Liverpool 4 points above the relegation zone, which is mental. Arsenal got off to the perfect start in this match when Gabriel Martinelli scored in the 58th second of the game to send their goals in front against a side that they haven't done too well against in recent years. This was Martinelli's 4th goal in the league this season and shows just how good of a signing this guy has been for Arsenal, with them signing him for a fee of £6 million back in 2019 from the Brazilian 4th division. Darwin Núñez, who signed for Liverpool this summer, did score to level the game however, and proceeded to celebrate this goal with a cry more celebration, which I personally personally thought it was a bit stupid. If he scored a last minute winner or something, then go ahead, but to do that celebration for a 1-1 equaliser in the 34th minute is way too premature, and as you can tell by the scoreline, this celebration backfired on him, with Arsenal fans around the world taking a piss out of him after the match. Arsenal did manage to restore their lead though, with their second goal of the match coming in the final few seconds of the first half, and Saka scored on a counter-attack to make it so he's now scored against every other club in the Big Six at just the age of 21. It didn't remain at 2-1 for very long though, as Bobby Firmino, who loves scoring against Arsenal, bagged a goal soon in the second half to level the game and become Liverpool's top goal scorer against Arsenal, with this being his 10th goal in 17 appearances against them. Arsenal and Liverpool both fought for a winner, but it was Arsenal who came out victorious in the end when Saka put away a penalty in the 76th minute to put Arsenal in front and make it a brace for himself. Saka may have missed a penalty in the Euros final, but hasn't missed one since then, with him scoring from the penalty spot against Chelsea, Man United and now Liverpool. This win is a clear sign of Arsenal's progression, as Liverpool has been a notoriously difficult fixture for them in recent years and they dominated them in this game, coming away with the 3 points and accumulated in the next year 3.03, whilst Liverpool only had 0.87. Everton faced Manchester United and lost 2-1. It was Alex Iwobi who opened the score in this match to put Everton in front after 5 minutes, scoring a fantastic goal from outside the box after the ball deflected off CazR and towards his feet. This lead only lasted for a total of 10 minutes however, as Anthony equalised the game when he slotted the ball past Pickford and into the bottom corner to continue his great start to his Man United career and become the first Manchester United player to score in all 3 of their opening 3 Premier League games. Later on in the first half, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's also starting spot at United and been on the bench for 7 of the 8 Premier League matches this season, came off the bench to replace an injured Anthony Martial, where he then proceeded to score his 700 club goal in his career right before half time, which sealed the win for Man United. Finally, Nottingham Forest up against Aston Villa and drew 1-1. Emmanuel Dennis put Forest in front in the 15th minute of the game, scoring his first goal for Forest after joining them in the summer from Watford for a fee of £20 million. Forest didn't have the lead for very long however, as 7 minutes later Ashley Young levelled the game and he scored a wonderful goal from 25 yards out, getting his first goal for Aston Villa in over 10 years after rejoining them in 2021. This result has ended Forest's run of 5 consecutive Premier League defeats and helped them climb above Leicester City in the league table, leaving them in 19th place and no longer at the bottom of the table. Anyway, that's Premier League Gameweek 9 recap. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and watch it, comment down your opinion on any matches happening this game week. With that being said, have a good one guys. See ya.